Hello and welcome to Tokyo CB and welcome back to the channel here today, guys. And first of all, thank you ever so much. 20,000 subscribers on the channel now. I am so grateful for all of your support, all of your comments and all of your views, really. Just coming here, listening to the videos, getting involved is exactly what it's all about. So thank you so much for that. Onwards and upwards. Hopefully we can all continue the growth here and it'll be fantastic. But today we're going to be going over some transfer talk, and what I'm going to be doing in this video is basically be going over a few headlines, a few different topics of discussion. I asked a few questions on Twitter and Facebook asking if anybody had any ideas as to what to do today's video on. So I'm just going to be speaking about the likes of Neymar, Coutinho, Munir El Haddadi, Sergio Roberto, Arda Turan, those kind of topics in today's video, looking at their future, of course, the transfer market in general, and seeing what stories have been bubbling around the Barcelona media throughout today. So the first thing to start with is of course the Neymar deal, which has been lingering on now, and I must say I actually expected after Piqué's announcement things to sort of cool down a bit, but even so, the reporters, the journalists, they've still continued to come out with headline after headline, things like, Neymar didn't know why Piqué posted the photo. I honestly don't believe any of that. I've completely stopped listening to the media on this one now. I do believe that Neymar will stay this summer, simply because I trust the judgment of Gerard Piqué. I don't think that he would put a photo like that out online to his thousands and millions of followers on Instagram and Twitter if he wasn't sure that Neymar was staying. He knows that the fans need some reassurance right now, and that's exactly what he did. So I fully trust Gerard Piqué, and for that reason I would say don't believe the things that you're reading online right now. They're simply after more clicks, they're after more views on their articles. Just go by what we've seen from one of our own players, Piqué. He believes Neymar is staying, and what's more, we will be hearing from Gerard Piqué later on tonight. In about 4 hours by the time I get this video out to you. In that time, Gerard Piqué will be sitting down in front of the media alongside Ernesto Valverde. And now a lot of people have been reporting on this as well. They basically said that PSG and Barça had announced very, very surprising press conferences today. Well, the reason for that is, but funny enough, before a game, the team sits down, they do a press conference. Both PSG and Barcelona both play late tomorrow night, so it's absolutely reasonable that both of them have press conferences today. There's nothing surprised about it. There's nothing, massive to come out of this news. They're simply both pre-match press conferences with no strings attached. So once again, it's the media blowing things up. I don't believe there's going to be any official announcement tonight. I don't think there's going to be anything drastic happening, but I do expect Gerard Piqué, who will be in front of the media, to be asked the questions about Neymar's future. He'll be asked about that photo. I think that he'll confirm that it wasn't a joke, he wasn't anything like that. He does believe that Neymar is staying, and I think that's what will all come of it, really. I think there's going to be a lot of press trying to stir things up, but overall I don't think there's going to be too much happening tonight. What I would say though is apparently Neymar was asked to appear in front of the press today, but he didn't want to, and therefore Piqué will take his place. What I would say is it would have been nice to see Neymar, wouldn't it? It would have been nice to see him come out here, deny the rumours, pledge his allegiance to Barcelona. But of course, once again from Neymar, we're hearing this silence, which isn't great, but it is what it is. And I've heard from a lot of people that Neymar doesn't often appear in front of the media. Apart from the time when he was announced at Barca, I've hardly seen him in front of a press room for a long, long time. So it's not unusual that Neymar is not coming out to speak. He doesn't speak to the media in Barcelona that often. The same goes for when he goes away with international duty for Brazil. And to be fair, if I was a player, I wouldn't be too friendly with the media either. They stir things up, they print a lot of lies, and quite honestly, it's quite understood that a player may not want to talk with them. But it's not all about Neymar. A lot of deals have been being done in the transfer window. One of the ones today, Kylian Mbappe may be on his way to Real Madrid, 180 million euros. Reports that the Man City are also interested though, and nothing is actually done yet, despite Marca coming out and saying that it had been done. That was a potential target that I talked about a few days ago, so that could affect us in the long run. But it's a lot of money for a young lad coming from Monaco, who has only had, to be fair, one very excellent, but only one season at the very top level. Coutinho is our next port of call. There was a lot of reports today in Sport, in Mundo Deportivo, right across Spain. There are big reports of Coutinho coming to Barcelona. Now, the reports saying that Barcelona are in London and are negotiating very, very heavily with Liverpool over the transfer. Sport actually go on to say this actual transfer is very far advanced. They feel like Coutinho is actually very close to joining. I would actually go on the contrary to that. Having been based in the UK, I can say that Liverpool are very, very reluctant to sell Coutinho this summer. I don't think this is a deal that's going to be done overnight. It's not going to be that simple, because Jurgen Klopp has come out on a number of occasions and said that he doesn't want Coutinho to leave. And Liverpool's owners, the Fenway Sports Group, want to back him, and they want to be resolute and not sell Coutinho. So by no means is this a done deal. We are negotiating. I think Coutinho would cost 100 million plus at least. I think the player wants to join. I think Coutinho has always had in his head that he'd like to join Barcelona. But what I would say is, one minute we've got no money, the next minute we're spending 100 million on Coutinho. Now, if Neymar stays, I don't really understand where we're getting this money from. And if Neymar goes, then I kind of see why we're signing Coutinho, because of course he's got quality, but I think the whole attraction of it is the fact that he's Brazilian. Neymar wants him to sign. It would make a bit of sense. He is a good player. He's expensive, but he's very marketable. You know, that's what the board's see in him. I don't personally think he's the best option to go for, but if he does come, I will obviously get behind him. But I'm just struggling to see how this wouldn't happen right now. And I think these reports from Sport, Munir El Haddadi, are a little bit premature. I think that he is definitely a target for Barcelona, but I'm not sure how far advanced we are in negotiations. Just a quick word on Munir El Haddadi. Munir El Haddadi running a bit of a column on him. They say that Barcelona have rejected offers from Ajax and Lille, who both wanted the young striker. They say that Bayer Leverkusen are also interested in signing him for the coming season. He was one of the ones who didn't play against Juventus. Him, Vermaelen and Douglas played no part in that game under Valverde. But it does say here that Barca are holding out for 30 million euros this summer and will not sell him unless that fee is met. So that's quite surprising, because usually we give players away. But I think this one is a bit on the steep side. I don't really see anybody forking out 30 million for Munir, who is relatively unproven at the top level. I think we could have been looking for about 20, 25, if that. I think 30 is very, very high price for somebody who doesn't have an awful lot behind him in his career so far. But look, Real Madrid can manage to get sort of 30 million for Danilo the season that he had. He's gone to Man City. You know, we should be trying for those fees as well. So fair enough if we are trying to go for that, but I don't really see Munir going for that amount. Quick word on Sergio Roberto. A few reports, mainly coming from ESPN, that Chelsea are very, very interested in activating his 40 million buyout clause that's in his contract. Antonio Conte is apparently a very, very big fan of what Roberto can do, and he feels like he could use him well in his squad. What I would say about that is, this is not Neymar. I think I wrote on Twitter actually that if Chelsea were to activate that release clause, you would hear in about 10 minutes, I think, Roberto saying no thanks, because he's very, very happy here. He's worked very, very hard for this chance. He's finally earned the opportunity to play in this Barcelona team, and I don't think right now that he would go and throw that away to go and play at Chelsea. He's very happy here. I think that release clause, like Neymar's, is too low. We need to definitely work on doing, when we're renewing the contracts, we need to make sure our release clause is going to be a bit higher, because we're making it too easy for clubs to come in and turn our players' heads. If Sergio Roberto wasn't committed and wasn't really, blaugrana through and through, I'd be worried. But luckily, I think there's no real worry on that one. He wants to stay. He's very much a part of Valverde's plans for the coming seasons in a number of positions. He's so versatile, and we could certainly use him throughout the season. He's going to be a big, big asset to this club. And finally, I'm going to talk about Arda Turan, who we all saw against Juventus, and I think we were all quite disappointed by his performance. He looked slow, he looked lethargic, he didn't quite look up to speed with things. I'm not sure how his pre-season preparations had gone prior to that, what kind of physical condition he's in, but he didn't look too great out there. So I think on the whole, he's not really a player that we need. I think there's a lot of players that would be ahead of him in the pecking order, so rightly so. We have been looking all summer long for potential suitors and buyers to come in and take him off our hands. Unfortunately, those offers have been few and far between. There was a little bit of interest from Arsenal, there's been a little smattering of interest from Turkey, but nothing really substantial, and the reason for that now is Arda Turan, according to Munir El Haddadi, wants to stay at the club. He said he wants to stay, he wants to fight for his chance, even though Valverde has reportedly told him he won't get that much playing time. But once again, it's the fact that we're giving players who are at the tail end of their career, their late 20s, we're giving them long contracts on big wages, and then they're saying, you know what, I don't want to go. We can't force them out, they're under contract. So it's so difficult when you go handing out these contracts to players who quite honestly do not deserve them. So this is really something we need to look at in the future. We need to be careful what we do, what wages we put people on, because once again we could well be left like we have been with Vermaelen, like we were with Mathieu until we released him, in a situation whereby we cannot get rid of somebody like Arda Turan who offers nothing really to the squad under Valverde. So we're going to have to see what happens with that one. But yeah, that's basically it today, guys. Those are the rumours that have been going around. Just to go over some questions that a few people have asked me. Somebody said about Rafinha's future. Basically, a few people have been asking why he isn't on the tour. Just to be absolutely clear, he's not on the tour because of an injury. He's still recovering from the injury that he picked up towards the tail end of last season. He's expected to be back towards the start of the season. Sorry, he's working very, very hard to return about September time. I think he can definitely find a way into Valverde's plans. There was a few links to him with Arsenal, but it doesn't look like he's going to be going. So I think as long as he can stay injury free, and that's the most important thing, if he can stay injury free, he can definitely play a part in the season to come. And that's pretty much all we've been dealing with today. There's been a lot of reports on Coutinho, a lot of reports once again on Neymar somehow. I hope that tonight Piqué will set the record straight, explain his post, and hopefully we can really nail down that Neymar deal, and hopefully he'll stay with us, and we'll see what happens. But press conference is coming up later on tonight, and of course the match tomorrow night against Manchester United. The preview is up on the channel already. So thanks as always for your support. Like I say, really, really thrilled and so grateful for getting at 20,000 subscribers. It really means a lot to me, guys. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very, very soon. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça.